Hey YouTubers, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. Enjoy the video. Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super discussion video. And you guys know, you definitely know I wouldn't be doing a Dragon Ball Super discussion video without the one, the only, Mr. Big Sexy himself. Okay, no, that's me. MJ, what's up guys? Tell him hello, guys. Dude, say hello. I am super rusty. Oh my god.
It's been a while. You've been ducking me. I don't know why, but we're finally here. We can finally record. You and D-Free, bro, like the power couple, man. I've just been ducking me. I can't even get a video in with you guys. It's ridiculous. But anyways, what's up, people?
We love D-Free. We love D-Free. Anyway, guys, you guys saw the thumbnail. You saw the title of the video. You're here to listen to whether or not Universe 6 is, in fact, way too important in the universe of Survival Arc Tournament of Power. Jesus, I am super rusty. Anyway, guys, let's discuss this right now. So one of the things I'm sitting here thinking is, like, what have we gotten? Like, okay, this has been officially the longest arc of Dragon Ball Super if we're taking it from the whole preliminaries, making the teams, getting the rules, and all that other stuff to the particular fight that we're in right now. We've had, what, 3-4 episodes, around 4 episodes of general fighting right now over the 25 episodes that we've gotten of Dragon Ball Super. And at this point, at this particular point, Universe 6 has gotten like 2 episodes almost entirely dedicated to Kale and or Caulifla. We've had some awesome moments with Hit, a great moment with Frost, a great moment with Cabba, and I'm wondering, are they too important to this particular story? Because look, we all know that Goku and Vegeta and Gohan and, you know, Roshi, Tenshinhan, 1817, Krillin, Frieza, everyone who's in Universe 7 is the better portion of who we're supposed to be following, who we're supposed to be cheering for, who we think is going to win. You know, Beerus, the Kais and Whis and all these other people. Are Universe 6 too important? Are we getting too much time with him? And if we are, for what reason? I mean, look, we all know, we all saw that at the beginning of this tournament, Universe 9 basically got out, and that was pretty much easy to kind of predict or see coming because they had the whole preliminary matches that aren't necessarily going to be in the manga itself. But you had all these people basically coming in, fighting, and then getting completely knocked off. The entire universe got erased to the point in episode 101, you have Goku literally sitting there and telling Caulifla, who's like, aren't you going to take us out? It would be so easy right now. We're so tired. And Goku's like, no, we'll fight later when it's more useful, or like when you're better, or when you're stronger. It's like, how much stronger are they going to be? They're only going to be in there for another 40 or so minutes. And if that's true, are they either going to get a huge power-up, going to make Universe 6 that much more important, or is Universe 6 going to win this thing? I mean, are we giving a lot of time to this universe because they are going to be the ones who ultimately win, or are we going to see some epic battles between them in the future? And if not either of those, for what reason? MJ, what are your thoughts?
I find that interesting, that whole line about them wanting to take out Kale and Caulifla, but they didn't. You know what I mean? It's like the human thing to do. We'll fight you when you're stronger, right? It makes me wonder. I wonder if Universe 6 has a healer. That would be very interesting if they have a healer, because it almost seems like it's implied that Hit was going around recruiting people. At least he went to go recruit Frost. So it would be cool that Hit, you know, being the tactician that he is, you know, trying to think of who he could get. So we have Mageto, we have Batamo, they're the tanks. We have Frost, he's the sneaky one. We have Cabba and the battle Saiyans. Let me get a healer. You know, that'd be actually pretty badass, which would lead to the idea that they would come back stronger, maybe as Zenkai. That's possible. Get a bit off topic there. That would be cool. That would at least explain why they would get powerful, you know what I mean? Or at least be fresh. To at least be refreshed to fight Goku and Vegeta and so on and so forth. But anyways, yeah, it does seem like they're going to play a major part. There's been that old age theory since fucking like episode 79 or 80, whenever it was announced about the Tournament of Power, that Hit would win or Universe 6 would win. You know, like Cabba, you did a video on that stuff. So it's like, there's been that old age theory that Universe 6 could actually win the tournament. It won't be Goku or Jiren or, you know, Universe 11. It'll actually be Universe 6, which would be a nice twist. I would actually like that. But it does seem like, from what we've seen so far, out of all the universes leading up to the tournament, we've got a lot of backstory on the Saiyans. We got a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of backstory, but we got a lot of time with the Saiyans. You know, we got Renzo meeting Cabba for the first time in a while. You know, we got the reunion there. Then we got Cabba meeting Khalifa after a while, I guess it seems, because it's almost like implied that he knew her. He was like, Khalifa? I don't want her to be on the team. You know what I mean? So you had these reunions. You had them learning how to go Super Saiyan. You had Cabba and Kel going at it. You know, you had all these moments with the Saiyans, and it made me think that they were going to be important because of how many times we saw them throughout the recruitment arc, you know, the recruitment portion of this whole entire arc. And then we get into here, we've already got 2 episodes dedicated to them, and I'm assuming since they've been left on the platform, there's more episodes to come. So it makes me really think to myself, they're painting the picture here that Universe 6, or at least the Saiyans themselves, are going to be important to this arc, like Kel. You know what I mean? Kel knows how to control her power. What will that lead to? And then there's Cabba. What will that lead to? Is he hiding something? We did a video about that, right? So is Cabba hiding like some bigger power up? Is that a possibility? Make sure you go check that out on Real to Real's channel. But we've done so many things on this. It makes me wonder, are they playing them up for something? What could it be? You know, and guys, remember, this ain't a conversation just between us. Drop down below. Me and Real to Real will read the comments, so drop down your theories. But it's like, what could they be leading up to? You think it's a win? Do you think that's why they're being like so important in this arc? I mean, that's I guess a big possibility, right? Because think about it, Universe 6 is not weak by any means. You have Hid, you have the tanks, and then you have, you know, the Saiyans who could potentially grow in power. And I want to point this out. This is something my friend Tragic told me. I believe I told you about Tragic. He was talking to me about science, and he mentioned to me a very cool idea as to why science potentially grow as fast as they do and why certain points in the series are overlooked. He mentions that in, I believe in the Cell arc, when Trunks and Vegeta are standing on that ledge, and Goku's like, what are y'all guys doing? He's like, we've been trying to learn how to ascend, you know? He's like, y'all just been sitting out here? You know? Like, they can't wrap their heads around the idea of ascending. Like, they don't know what to do. Then they go into the Room of Spirit and Time to train, and it's implied that Vegeta learns it before Trunks, and then Trunks finally learns how to ascend, you know, to the forms of Grade 2 and 3, right? Well, when he comes out, he goes into Grade 2 and 3, fights Perfect Cell for a short time. Perfect Cell then, out of nowhere, literally just uses the Grade 3 form like that. And then he points out the flaws of the form, and then Trunks is like, oh, I feel like an idiot. You know? So it's like, Tragic was trying to paint a picture to me that as long as you have the Saiyan cells, the Saiyan cells, and as long as you have both the mental ability and the physical ability to ascend or to get stronger, you can do it. And he based this off of what happened in, I believe, in the Future Trunks arc. He calls it the pun because when Vegeta's fighting Black, he calls Black a fake because you don't know how to use the Saiyan cells to get it, Cell. You don't know how to use the Saiyan cells to their full capabilities, you know? So while it took Trunks so long to learn this, you have Cell who is completely entwined with his body, who knows all the techniques, who knows all the cells, and just because he knows what's going on, he can get a grasp of it, he can do it instantly, while it took Trunks months to learn how to ascend. So I think what I'm trying to get at here is that Khalifa and Kel, even though they may not have had the training, they have the mental ability because she wants to grow stronger. She wants to get there. She wants to have more power. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. She fantasizes about it. Like, her face gets all like she just saw a big ass. I'm just kidding. she gets mouthwatery at the idea of getting stronger. And then Kel being her protege, of course, she'll want to achieve greater heights as well with her big sis. So it's like, the picture I'm painting here is that they could potentially get stronger that way because the Saiyans are special. We've done videos on this before, the demigod stuff, you know what I mean? Saiyans are a big part of this story, and they play a big part, and they really are a mystery as to how they keep getting stronger, they keep adapting, and how they are able to utilize God Ki. But I just wanted to point that out. We have Hit, the tanks, and we have these Saiyans who could potentially grow stronger instantly if they know how to, if they can at least grasp the idea. We've seen it before throughout the series. What could this lead up to, though? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Sorry, I talked so fucking long. I'm sorry.
No. That's absolutely okay. The one thing I think when you're talking about with the Saiyans, I think it's really interesting. I'm pretty sure some people have not just one person, but a multitude of people have actually brought this up in my channel before. I just wanted to kind of bring it up right here, besides giving its own particular video, or maybe another video later on, who knows. But basically just the idea that, you know, we have 6 Saiyans in the Tournament of Power. And that, to me, if we want to be very, very, I guess, okay with the idea, if we want to be okay with something that's they're building up here, 6 Saiyans to me doesn't necessarily seem like something they just threw in there. Like they just needed to get to 6, or they just happened to create 6 Saiyans for this particular arc or something. It seems very intentional that, yes, there are 6 Saiyans here. There are 2 female Saiyans that they introduced solely for this tournament. And considering the fact that 6 Saiyans was already a notable number when it came to the whole ritual thing, a lot of people have been speculating that there could be potentially a ritual in place for someone like Cabba or Gohan, or maybe even Caulifla or Kale. Obviously, as we were talking about before we even started recording, Goku and Vegeta don't necessarily need the ritual, but we don't necessarily know the multiplier or anything. Everything is just kind of speculation of how the ritual works as compared to what actually achieving the form outside of the ritual does. So potentially one of the reasons Universe 6 is so important, and one of the reasons that Kale and Caulifla and Cabba are so freaking important, is because they might be keeping them around and making them strong and everything in order to show that, yeah, they might be important for the ritual that we could be doing later if things get way too hectic and Gohan has to get the ritual, or someone has to get the ritual in order to push us forward in this particular arc that isn't necessarily someone like Goku Vegeta who already has the form, or some kind of god key in general. And then again, you also have, like you said earlier, like the whole healer concept and everything. You have Universe 6 has been sitting on the idea that they have these 2 other people that we haven't even seen yet. I mean, for the most part, Universe 2, we've got an idea, one like we've seen kind of the outlines and even just really low quality images of some of the people that they're hiding. We have an idea who exactly the other person is as well on Universe 4, and all these other people. For whatever reason, they haven't shown 2 people on Universe 6, which makes me wonder, you know, as important as Kale and Caulifla and Cabba have been throughout this entire team, all the stuff that you were saying, all the stuff that I was saying that could come into fruition later, you have Hit being awesome, you have the tanks being able to take almost anything out that they think, or, you know, be able to take everything as long as they work together. I mean, who knows how strong they are individually, but together they can almost tank anything, really. And then you have 2 other people that they're taking completely out of context and like you don't necessarily know anything about. On the other hand, you also have Frost, who's being very sneaky. We've only seen him take out Krillin at this point, and Krillin doesn't necessarily seem like it was just kind of, oh, we'll just have Frost take out Krillin. It seems very story driven. So we're looking at the entire team as a whole, and I'm sorry to say this, as much as OP, as much as we want to see Universe 7 just take the crown and everyone be vastly important and superior and important to the story, it just doesn't seem that way. It seems like Universe 6 is the most important people, or the most important team in this entire freaking story. Everyone has something going on that's way more mysterious or intriguing than anyone else in Universe 7 or Universe 3 or Universe 11 or 2 or anyone else who's actually still in this fight.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Now, I do like the idea. You brought this up to me off here, and you brought it up here. The idea of doing the ritual, right? Mm-hmm. What I like about that is, if they were to do the ritual, I would actually like for it to be Cabba. Uh-huh. Now, the reason why I like for it to be Cabba is, yeah, I know in the story, Kale is stronger than him, Kale and Caulifla, right? Presumably, Caulifla is still stronger than him. I don't know if they did any outside training. We talked about this. So, presumably, going off one of the recent episodes in their training, we know Caulifla is stronger than him. Now, the idea of it being Cabba interests me because back in the Universal Tournament, the Champa arc, right? You had Vegeta mention, hey, you can reach this power too, just keep training. Now, we know that's probably the case because Cabba is one of the Sadal Force members. I assume he does basic training, so he's probably polished his skills, overall become a more battle-oriented fighter, I would presume. He's just overall better. I would just say superior to what he was in the Champa arc, you know. So you have this Cabba. It would be interesting from a story point of view because Kale doesn't really like Cabba. And then you have Khalifa, who is very interested in getting stronger. I would like it that if they do want to use this and give someone God Ki and do the ritual, the idea that, you know, maybe Goku's like, okay, maybe you've mastered 2 or maybe you've reached 3. I still don't think you're necessarily ready to handle God Ki or to handle that type of power. And what I mean by that is going back to what I was talking about with Cell. Yeah, Khalifa may want to get stronger. It's the idea, though, that maybe she's too childish, you know what I mean? Maybe she's a bit too, you know, she doesn't really have, like, the battle skills. Maybe that's a better word, the battle sense, you know what I mean? So, maybe they give it to Cabba, and that's a very cool idea, in my opinion, because, for one, maybe Gohan turns it down. Maybe Gohan's like, I don't think I need it, or maybe Gohan says, nah, if I want to get stronger, I'll do it on my own. Like, you have Gohan doing that. Then you have, you know, Kale and Cleaver who want to do it, but Goku kind of declines it, and then they have to put up their pride, and they have to give the power to Cabba. I think that would be a very, very cool story point of view, because they mocked Cabba, especially Khalifa, so much during their training. The fact that Cabba actually has to, you know, suck up her pride and actually help make him stronger, I think that would be a pretty cool dynamic. And plus, it ties in with what Vegeta said in the last tournament, that you can get this power too. What if that's this moment? What if that's this moment? I think that would be pretty cool.
I think that would be pretty cool as well. And one of the things I had mentioned before and you had brought up earlier is the fact that Cabba has been given a whole lot of emphasis early on in this entire tournament. I mean, he was given a couple episodes. They always cut back, and even though they were introducing Khalifa and Kale, which they basically really needed to do, he was always at the center of every single one of those side stories that they were telling. I mean, he was ushering them. He was the one being told to go find them. He was the one, and it was just one of those things that I had speculated before, that if there was anyone who was actually going to win this tournament, although a lot of people might find some problem with that one way or the other, Cabba just sounds like someone who makes sense to win the particular tournament. Not even, and whether it's because he's brute force the most powerful or anything else, or whether he was just the last man standing, it just seems clear to me. It seems like a decent story narrative to me, considering the fact that we spent a lot of time on him. He seemingly does have this power. He seemingly does have this wherewithal to even go up against Vegeta, as we said an earlier video that you and I did together. It's just,
he's confident and focused. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he's a completely different person than he was the last time we seen him enter a tournament. And I feel like that's not necessarily lost on the people who are making this particular series. They know exactly what they're doing with Cabba. They've been kind of building it up in this way in order for us to get that, in order for this not to be a jaw-dropping moment where he ends up being the winner. It's like, oh, you know what, if I think about it, I saw them doing that the entire time. But like I said, and like I always say, that's just a theory. It's a speculation. It's something that, based on what I'm watching and the way I'm interpreting this show, I wouldn't be necessarily floored if this were to be the thing that happened. And like he said, you can't just even look beyond those Saiyan characters or the Saiyan ritual. You have, like you said before, you potentially have someone who could heal, who can, you know, heal Kale and Khalifa and get them on that other level, give them that cell power or something, you know, that Zenkai, understanding their body, their transformations and all this other stuff to make them more formidable opponents later on in this tournament. And that itself would be really cool and something to really kind of amp us up. And it might even turn the tides for most fans sitting there going, yeah, you know, like I can actually see at this point, I can see Universe 6 winning. And that is exciting because it's not something I actually ever saw before. And as even Danny dropped in that recent spoilers, by the way, spoilers, I had to say. But as Danny even said in the recent spoilers, like there's indication that even though we know the universes are ending and all this other stuff, there's hints and speculation going out there that indicate that potentially this tournament isn't the end of what we're seeing thus far. Like, it's only the second part in a 3-part story or something like that. So I think that is something that we all have to keep in mind when we're watching this, is what we're seeing right now necessarily isn't the end of what we're seeing, and it might not be the greatest threat that we're seeing thus far. And all these people that we're being introduced to, all of these techniques that we're being introduced to, everything that we're being introduced to might come into relevance or some kind of useful interaction sometime later down the line. And if that's the truth, then Universe 6's powers, its transformations, its secrecy, and everything that they're basically putting forth might be very important sometime down the line.
Imagine this. Let's put the cherry on top of the ice cream, right? Let's do this. So, to our knowledge, again, going off the God Ritual, and again, this is a theory. Going off the God Ritual, the fact that Cabba, to our knowledge, was the first ever Super Saiyan in the last tournament, in this arc, he becomes the first ever Saiyan to achieve the God form. That's some fucking poetic justice right there. That is beautiful in my opinion. He's the legendary, he becomes a legendary Super Saiyan, and then he becomes the Super Saiyan God in this one. I think that's pretty cool, at least in my opinion. But yeah.
Yeah, he's essentially the Goku. Like, that was basically Goku for the most part. But, like, he didn't have to go through all the crappy... I mean, for the most part, what it is now, all the crappy transformations or something. He just got the Super Saiyan transformation and then become God.
He didn't have to get his ass kicked for years like Goku did.
Exactly. I know. I agree with you. I agree with you. So, like, I think that is worth talking about. I just want to kind of, like you said earlier, just this discussion isn't just between you and me. It's between everyone listening to this and their thoughts and speculations of what we're talking about. But, guys, go down to the comment section below and tell us whether you think Universe 6 is too important right now, and whether or not that's leading to something, or whether or not it's just part of the story right now and they're going to be written off in a matter of, episodes, or just a matter of time before we stop talking about Kale and Caulifla and all this other stuff, and everything that was introduced was just there to hype us. Don't forget to go to MJ's channel. Go check out what he has to offer. Daily awesome content for you guys right over there. Some really awesome stuff. Please make sure to go check him out and subscribe, like, and comment, and everything on his videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe onto this video. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. But with that being said, guys, I hope everyone has a good day, and we're going to catch you on the next video. It's been real.